everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm answering your questions about, do narcissists go together? Do they attract one another, or do they repel one another? So the answer is simply yes. It will depend on the situation and also the type of narcissist, like the actual classification of the narcissist, as well as their personality type, about whether or not they're going to go together with another narcissist. Sometimes narcissists work very well together in business situations and in marriages because they have the same viewpoint of life and they process things the same way. They feed off of one another's delusions, and so it's easy for them to be attracted to each other and to stay in that relationship. Again, business and marriages, you'll find that a lot. Another place where you'll find this very common is in the court system, which I know I've talked a lot about on this channel already, but if you're facing a narcissist in court, their attorney is likely a narcissist. And if they're not a narcissist, you may find them quitting quickly, wanting to change, get out of the case. Narcissists also will be attracted to one another in terms of positions. So there are job fields that have a higher content of narcissists present than others because they're attracted to the same type of thing, whether that's money, prestige, power, social status, all of the above, regardless of what it is. They all are thinking about that job the same way, and so you'll find certain positions having a higher content of narcissists within them. Narcissists sometimes don't get along and will repulse one another when they're after the same thing, and it's not compatible that they both have it. So if two narcissists, for example, are after the same supply, it's not going to work out, and the supply is actually going to be likely very damaged in the process. So if two narcissists are wanting the same person, they can escalate things very quickly between one another and somehow end up also blaming the supply for what's happening. So it's also very common that the supply, even before a relationship is formed with either one of these narcissists, is damaged in the meantime, is damaged in the beginnings or the start of a relationship with either one of these narcissists, because they'll blame the supply for what the other narcissist is doing. Other times that narcissists won't get along is when one really needs to have the power structure. Narcissism is, again, always about control, and it's always about manipulation. In other words, being able to get what they want from the situation, from the person, whatever it may be. And so if two narcissists are fighting for the same position, the same goal, the same end result, the same person, the same supply, whatever it may be, and they are both very driven by power, by dominance, then that's another reason why it wouldn't work out between the two narcissists, and narcissists will actually work to destroy one another. And when that happens, you recognize that ship is going to sink, and you want to be as far away from it as possible, because the backlash of such a thing happening to irrational people who are not making healthy choices for themselves or for anybody else, you want to be away from that, because it will continue to escalate, and you just don't want to be caught up in the middle of that. Two types that typically won't go together are overt narcissists and covert narcissists, because the covert narcissist doesn't want people to know that they're a narcissist. They want to just be the fun, easygoing, and very full of life person in the room. But that's going to be taken away from them if there's an overt, very loud, very boisterous and outgoing person in the room. So those two are going to clash together, and it'll be easy to tell a covert narcissist. This person will revert to pouting, a pity party, doing or making some kind of a scene. I'm sick, I think I've got food poisoning, even some sort of outlandish thing to draw the attention back to themselves. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this video was not to just talk about, do narcissists attract each other, do they repel each other? That's a great topic, and it's good to know the answer to that for sure. But one of the other things that I wanted to do in this video was to give closure to people who feel like the narcissist is treating their new supply better than they were treated. And especially if you've noticed that this has lasted longer than the typical love bombing phase that was happening in your relationship with the narcissist. So maybe the narcissist now has been married for many years and it seems like it's going to work out. Meanwhile, your marriage, maybe it only lasted a year or two and it was a constant struggle. The reason is likely because they've married another narcissist, and it works out well for them because they both, again, think the same way. They have the same patterns of thinking. They have the same rationalization. They're attracted to the same things, and they feed off of one another's delusions. So they actually encourage and push the other person to become more narcissistic because it's completely accepted. And so this kind of ebb and flow, this kind of like, let's go to the next level, let's go to the next level, it's encouraged in the home and between the narcissist and the relationship. So yeah, this is one of the reasons why if you're feeling bad because you notice that the narcissist has moved on and that it seems to be a lasting working relationship, it's likely because the other person is also a narcissist. You can be both a narcissist and a supply at the same time. And so, you know, the world of narcissism isn't black and white. It isn't this or that. It really isn't. There's a whole lot of gray area. There's a whole lot of things that we need to really uncover and unpack. I know I've mentioned before in many of my videos that narcissistic personality disorder, I'm talking about the clinical diagnosis itself, is a sliding scale. It is part of an overall cluster B personality disorder, and there is many different levels of narcissism, not to mention the way that it comes across: overt, covert, cerebral. There's many different types of narcissists, and it's also complicated by their personality. So that's the clinical side. Now talk about somebody who just has traits about a narcissist. By the way, we all have narcissistic traits. It's about being self-aware enough to know when you are exhibiting those traits and when those traits are actually causing damage to you, to your relationships, to your ultimate goal, and your ultimate goals in life. So business-wise or school-wise or whatever it is that your passion is, whatever it is that you're working on, narcissistic traits can absolutely hinder that. I know that we often see only narcissistic traits that help that, but that's because that person is likely a narcissist overall. So they are very comfortable exhibiting those traits, especially over a period of time, and it works well for them because they are very skilled in manipulation because, again, they're very good at reading people. They're very good at reading people's energy, understanding their weaknesses, their strengths, what words to use, what things won't work for them in terms of manipulation. So this is an overall thing that the narcissist has done. Somebody who just is exhibiting narcissistic traits won't be able to be that manipulative and be that successful at it because they're not actually a narcissist. They are self-centered and maybe just not self-aware. And by the way, I have a video that talks about the difference between somebody who's just a jerk and somebody who's actually a narcissist. And so there's a whole lot of gray area in terms of what somebody is or isn't, what they're doing and why they're doing it, motivations and intentions. All that kind of stuff is difficult to read into. So the reason that I want to mention that too right now is that when you're talking about, will narcissists attract each other or repel each other, it's going to depend on the phase of life the narcissist is in and whether or not the other narcissist is willing to play the first narcissist game. You know, are they going to be compatible? Are they going to be able to share attention, share resources, share time and scheduling and all the things that would go into a normal relationship? It's just an unhealthy one. So I hope this video has helped you understand if narcissists attract each other or repel each other, and being aware of a situation where you may be like in a job situation or something like that, where maybe you are really surrounded by narcissists, and that you bringing up issues at work really isn't going to do any kind of thing, because all of the people who have decision-making authority there are narcissists. They're all going to think the same way. You need to know that that's the environment that you're working in. You know, can I actually come in and use the systems that HR has available for me, and will it make a difference or will it not? This is something that you need to know, and being aware of, is this environment conducive for narcissists to stay here and be successful, or is this a place that is just got one narcissist and they seem to be doing a lot of the controlling and a lot of the havoc making in the work environment? So you want to know the difference between those two, and because that affects your decisions. It affects your availability of what roads to go down, of what actions you can take, and ultimately if you want to stay in that place or not. So it's really important that you do understand the environment that you're operating in and what's actually going on when multiple narcissists are in a space. And I also hope that this video has helped some of you find closure about why your ex, who you know is a narcissist, is able to make the relationship work. Again, I'm Dr. Angel Storm, and if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel below and turn on the little bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel.